Meadowmount to me is a training ground where classical musicians come and work on their playing.
It is the place to go if you want to make incredible progress as a person and as a musician.
Being in Meadowmount, it feels like we're in like a musician gym, sort of, because this really beautiful woods. We're just in here in a cabin and there's barely any cell service, so we don't get distracted.
I can isolate myself and improve technique and make new friends and connections.
We're surrounded by 200 students who are all after the same goal.
We all come together and come here to study music intensely, and we all love it.
Meadowmount is an intense 7-week program for string players and pianists. At a certain point in students' lives, the total immersion in a practice environment is absolutely essential. And that's what we offer, and that's what we've offered for the past 73 years.
Meadowmount is in the beautiful Adirondacks in New York.
It's just in a wonderful location. It's very isolated, but I think that's all for the better. At home, I have a lot more distractions, social media, schoolwork.
It's very similar to like an athlete preparing for the Olympics. You have like the runners, many times they go up in the mountains and they live there for 2-3 months where all they do is eat, sleep and train.
Meadowmount has been around since 1944. It was founded by Ivan Galamian, one of the most influential violinists to have ever lived.
The very last one is too short.
He founded the school with the mission that all his students would come here and they would be in a rigorous practice routine and they would get a year's worth done in 7 weeks.
From day one, students were fed, students' laundry was taken care of.
Even today, we mop their floors, we clean the bathrooms, we take care of their instruments. We have a violin shop, the Burlington Violin Shop is here. They've been here for about 7 or 8 years now, taking care of our students. They need a string, it's right there. They need extra music, they can buy it. We do everything for them. And that was the goal when the school was founded.
The only responsibility he gave a student was to practice. If you walk through the property in the morning, you will hear music being played from one end of the campus to the other.
We practice from 8:30 every day to 12:30 in 50-minute increments.
That was one of Galamian's ideas, that the 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off was a healthy kind of rhythm to get into for practice.
He was really the very, very strong, stern papa. The stories of Mr. Galamian patrolling in the hallway, listening to people practice. These are not stories. That was what happened.
You'd hear in the hallway the snap of his fingers. And you knew he was coming to check on you and you better be practicing because if you were just goofing off in your room, you were in trouble.
As a counselor, well, I have to walk around and make sure that all my girls are practicing. If they don't, they're penalized with an X.
The living rules here are very strict. It does teach them a certain way of looking at things so that even 40 seconds late for curfew matters. Like every little detail in practice matters.
One of the most distracting things for the students is their electronic devices. So what we do here is we alleviate them of that distraction by taking their devices from them.
At 10:30 p.m. actually, counselors from each dorm will collect the phones. You get a good night's sleep and you don't get your phone back until after the practice hours of the next morning are finished.
We keep them motivated, we keep them moving.
Our job is to make sure that they do work hard. And we promise a certain result based on their coming 101% into what it is we expect and what it is that we offer.
Meadowmount occupies a very, very unique position in the world of string playing. It's a legendary place.
When you go to breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you pass by scores of photos on the wall that show just how special Meadowmount is and how many amazing artists it's produced.
Yo-Yo Ma, Itzhak Perlman.
Joshua Bell, Kyunghwa Chung,
Lynn Harrow,
Jamie Laredo,
James Ennis,
Arnold Steinhardt.
Michael Rabin. The list just goes on and on. You're just surrounded by a level of musicianship and you feel that you are held to that standard here.
To be honest, it hasn't changed very much. We're living in the same buildings, we're eating in the same cafeteria.
Many times when you see like a famous person, you think, wow, you never realize that they had to go through the same things that you go through.
They were once like us here working as students, and seeing where they are like now in the society and music world make me want to practice harder and be like one of them one day.
Meadowmount is rich with history. Many of the teachers here were Galamian students or even his teaching assistants.
We try to carry on the traditions of Mr. Galamian's teaching, particularly about tone production and violin technique.
I've been teaching here about 60 years, and I find that the core of what is happening here in Meadowmount has never changed.
I think today we are doing a pretty good job trying to follow what he started. Don't rush. Good. That's much better. So our mission is really to try to get these kids, when they leave, to be at least one grade higher than the way they arrived at.
Didn't really feel that pulse. Really feel the pulse. Now, emotion more. I have here 7 weeks and many times with new students. So in 7 weeks, I have to try to make a very big difference. That means that every lesson I give, I have to really impart a lot of new knowledge. And then now you come out. Now you come out. Come out more. Sustain. Up against the triplet. Sustain. Don't take time. So I give a lot of extra lessons. I tell the student, come tomorrow at noon, play for 10 minutes. Then I make little extra classes. Yeah, put 5 or 6 people in one class, and then I see them a couple of times a week. So I try to do a lot of things, so I see them many more times. Because they have so much time to practice, so I have to try to also give back more. Master classes, I think, is one of the most important things, because people have to really perform and see where they are.
It's a step toward preparation for performance. Students learn to play their instrument here, but they also have to learn to perform, which is a very separate thing.
It's important to be up there and performing, and also all the feedbacks you get from your peers.
One of the wonderful things about Meadowmount is when they bring in guest artists.
Okay, we have the same figure that she had at the beginning now.
This year at Meadowmount, Joseph Silverstein, the former concertmaster of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, is coming.
You know, the first time first time you took an extra bow.
This is a dream to play with a musician of such a high level, and I'm learning so much about playing chamber music.
At Meadowmount, our specialty, aside from the solo playing, would be the focus on chamber music. Being in a chamber music group is absolutely essential for the development of a musician both artistically and socially.
Chamber music at Meadowmount is probably one of the best experiences of my life, actually, because I get to learn from other musicians.
You get your own practice space, you get as much time as you want to rehearse, you get excellent coaches, and you get to perform it.
Performing here at Meadowmount is probably the most exciting event ever.
There's an energy you don't find in a lot of places because everyone's so attuned to what you're doing.
You know, there's a certain standard expected, but it's a standard that the practice regimen here really helps you meet.
it's our friends up there, and we get to see progress that they've made.
It can be nerve-wracking.
I don't think you'll find a situation where you have as many of your peers watching you on stage.
Everybody goes wild because we know each other so well.
Then when the students come out after the concert, all the other students are like flocking around the door, and they are applauding and screaming like they're treating each other like they're all stars. It gives you like a feeling when you perform that people really love it. And in our art form, it's really about communicating to the audience.
I think this task that we do, playing classical music, is unique because it's like we're taking something that was given to us and perfecting it and doing it as best as we can for the enjoyment of others. So it's like a gift.
When the kids leave Meadowmount, it's always with a lot of tears. They're very, very sad because it's like leaving your family. But I think what the students take with them when they leave Meadowmount is all the inspiration that they have received from the teachers and from the other students. So when they leave Meadowmount, they are not the same people.
It did absolutely change my life.
It changes you as a person. This could be almost a magic place where you can see the results.
Coming here really inspired me and just showed me that this is the career path I want to choose.
I'm going to be entering conservatory. Without the progress I'd made during the summers, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable making that decision.
You know, these kids are aching to reach their potential. And at some point, and it happens every summer, you know, you see a large group of these kids suddenly just burst open and become young artists rather than talented kids. And it's the most exciting thing I've ever witnessed in my life.